We're going to be fixing a major bug today. This thing. We're going to be using something called overlap spheres to decide whether we're going to be running into a wall or into a platform. If I click play, we see that we have a bunch of front detectors. We're going to be using these positions. Also check out the Unity document, the official document. So overlap sphere is going to give you an array of colliders that are within the radius of a certain position. I want to make those positions visible. We have collider edges. Turn on the renderer. The prefab shouldn't have any positions. And we don't need the collider here. Size, I'll try 1.5. 0.15, and play. So these are the front parts, so you get the idea of what the radius is going to be. I'm going to go into the collider edge folder and create a new C# script. I'll call it overlap checker. Add the script to the prefab. Go in there. Start with a namespace. And we start checking for overlaps in the fixed update. Physics.OverlapSphere. We're going to use the game object position. And the radius, for now, I'll try 0.15. We also need an array of colliders. I'll make them public so we can see them. Array of colliders. We get that from the function. I'm going to go back to Unity. And one tricky thing about the overlap sphere is that if I take a look at all the move forward scripts, this for example, the block distance is 0.2 here, which is bigger than the radius. So the sphere is never going to touch an object that's in front. So I'm going to select all of the move forwards. Make it 0.14, the block distance. And if I play, I'm going to run into the wall and check one of the spheres. Here are the colliders, and we see that the wall here, grid rect 16, it's inside the array. Now that we have the overlap sphere working, we got to decide when to use them. We don't want to be using them every single frame. I'm going to press Ctrl T, go into the animation progress, and I'm going to create a bool here. Public bool check wall block. So this is going to be used as a cue to start checking the overlap sphere. I'm going to press Ctrl T again, go into the indexer, transition indexer, and I want to create a little function here. Private bool start checking for wall blocks. And we want to take a look at all of the transition conditions in the list. And if we have a transition condition that says blocked by wall, that's when we know we should be checking for the wall blocks. Return true. If nothing matches return false. And in the update, we access the animation progress, check wall block, and that equals whatever you get from this function, true or false. Now I'm going to go back to the overlap checker, and we only want to check when we see the bool is true. First we need the character control. We'll get that in the beginning of the game. It's always on the root. So if it says check wall block, check for a wall block, then that's when we start checking. I'm going to create a function here, a bool function, where we're checking for OBJs. So we're going to be looking at all of the colliders in the array. And we want to differentiate the objects from the players, from other characters. So get the character manager, use a function, get character, from the root of whatever collider that we're colliding against. And if that is null, means it's a non-character object, so return true. Otherwise, return false. We only do this if this bool is true. I want to add another if. This needs to be a front detector. We need a list that holds all the overlap checkers. I'm going to use this script, collision spheres. For now, I'll just create another list of overlap checkers, front overlap checkers. For now, I think we just need the front ones here. So this happens in the beginning of the game when we're setting up the front detectors. So we want to check if a particular overlap checker belongs in the front. Front overlap checkers must contain this script, must have this script, means it's a front checker. And then we start checking for the overlaps. I'll create a bool is wall blocked, and we get the result from the function that we just made. Actually, let me correct the name. It's not always a wall, it could be some random object. OBJ is overlapping. I don't know how else to call this. I guess this is as accurate as it gets. So if I go back and play, so we have a bunch of front detectors here. I'll take a look at the one in the middle. Here is the bool. Okay, so whenever we're in a situation where we need to start updating the indexer that requires you to check whether you're running into a wall or not, this bool gets triggered, or checked or unchecked, depending on the situation. So now that we see it working, I'm going to go into the indexer, the wall block condition. So instead of using this, we want to be looking at the overlap checker every overlap checker in the front. If any one of them says overlapping is not true, return false. So theoretically, if any one of these spheres is not colliding against the wall slide shouldn't be triggered. But it looks like we have a bug here. We should be turning it back to false. So whenever we're not checking, it's back to false. Save all the code and let's test it one more time. So now against normal circumstances, seems to be working fine. Okay. I'm going to try decreasing the radius for the checker. This might be a little too big. Maybe just 0.1. And for all the move forwards, 0.9. Play again. Oh, 0.09. Okay. So against the ledge, we don't see it being triggered, not unless I hold down the jump button. Okay. Maybe that was too low. 1.3 here. Okay. I keep making the same mistake with the decimal points. Okay. Should be fine now. Okay, so you cannot trigger. I'm trying to trigger the wall slide against the platform. Can't do that anymore. Okay. Okay, looks good. And I'm gonna go into the collider edge prefab, turn off the renderer. Okay, and looks like everything is working as intended. Right now we don't have code for a platform that is thick enough to be a wall and a grabbable ledge. Guess I'll do that later, because I think I've done quite a lot in this video already. I'm going to add the AI again. The whitebot blue. Just to make it look like what it used to be. Okay. All right, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.